Hi, I'm Elliot, a writer, and I am typing out The Great Gatsby. Why? Because that was something Hunter S Thompson did, because he wanted to see what it would be like to write a masterpiece. Now that I have some time on my hands, I figured it would be a good opportunity to give it a shot myself. So, please join me every Saturday until I finish the whole novel. Welcome back to another episode of me, Elliot, typing out The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. What a crazy week. What a crazy week. Actually, a really nice week for me because I was on vacation after working from home, which at first I was like, is this necessary? Should I just kind of, not have a vacation and just keep doing what I'm doing? I was actually supposed to go down to Vegas for my buddy's bachelor party. Obviously, that didn't happen for multitudes of reasons. But spending it at home in the company of my dog and my wife, reading books, writing, just thinking, contemplating about the universe. It was actually really nice. It was a nice way to do it. And I'm not completely exhausted from binge drinking and traveling, so I'm grateful about that. So I feel very good today. It's true. I do. I feel good. So yeah, there's a lot to get through. As I mentioned, this book is very short, but you kind of don't know how long something will take until you start doing it, especially if you have no experience of doing it in the past. And with that, I have to say, just don't stop. Don't stop. I know 9 weeks of doing this seems like a lot. Like 9 weeks is almost a whole semester in college or university. So that is a big commitment. And I tell people it only takes me 1 hour a week to do this, and maybe a couple more hours to get it online and maybe like sit through it during the premiere. Otherwise, it's a very short commitment. I think these little things get blown out when you start thinking about all the little pieces of it. I mean, like think about it. It's like watching a television show. It's like watching a show on Netflix. How long do you spend doing that? How long do you spend just, meandering around your house? So there's definitely time, and there's definitely ways to incorporate these little projects into your life. However, you need to keep doing it. You need to keep doing it. And I think if I'm gonna represent anything in this world, it's the perseverance to do these little things that seems kind of crazy, kind of like a complete waste of time. But if you don't finish, it really means nothing. It doesn't matter if it's typing out The Great Gatsby, or if it's working on your novel or short story or film project or YouTube video or even an email to someone. If you don't finish it, it means nothing. It might be a good meditation for yourself, but it's as good as you watching something on television. So if you're choosing to do something, please choose to finish. That's all I have to say about that. So what I'm trying to say here is I'm kind of in it. And it's just about focusing on that. Focusing brick by brick. Eventually, it'll be done. And then I can move on to something else. but it wouldn't be right for me to start this and then say in week 9 be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to stop. So maybe you're not going to learn anything about writing or editing from me, but maybe you'll learn about habit forming or the act of doing something over and over again until it becomes just a part of you, you know? And we talk about, I want to be a writer, or I want to be a creative. And it's mostly about just time management and practicing. It's a lot of practicing. So with that being said, let's get started with today, because there's a lot to get through. There's a lot to do. And this should be a very interesting section of the book, because Nick is now at a party. He's at Gatsby's party, and he's about to mingle, I assume. And yeah, let's see what adventure he gets into. So our intention for today, I actually didn't think about this before filming, so I have to think about it now, is let's look at, I'm going to be really bad at this. And a lot of this stuff is like, I know I'm really bad at. That's why I need to practice, like the previous episode where I didn't even know what an adjective was or how to find one. That was not good. So today, let's try to look for something that I do think I'm really bad at. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it, but let's try. Let's look for passive voice. Let's see when and where Fitzgerald uses passive voice, if he does at all. He might not, but it's something nice to be aware of, because you hear so often that you shouldn't use passive voice in writing. It's like, okay, cool, English teacher. But let's see what my boy Fitzgerald says. All right, let's get to it today. This is actually gonna be a lot harder than I thought while typing this out. It's hard to look for that stuff, especially when you're not skilled at looking for that stuff, because I'm certainly not. I see myself much more as a writer than I do an editor, and that is something that has taken me over a decade to figure out in my own work, because I used to think that if I finish the first draft, I'm 80% done. Now I know that I'm only 20% done, and the actual work ahead is the editing part. I've accepted that, so that's growth, I think. You know, give me 1 second here. All right, we're good. The camera's still recording. Every time the obligatory camera check. All right, Jordan Baker. Oh, and you probably already know what active voice, passive voice is. Active voice is like the subject doing something, the verb to the object, whereas passive voice is the object having something done by the subject. I explained it terribly. So active voice would be the boy kicked the ball, where passive voice would be the ball was kicked by the boy. All right, that's English for you. They say the best way to learn is to teach. So I'm trying that, trying to teach you, but just trying to say things. Oh God. So that is what we're looking for. We're looking for passive voice here, which is, as I mentioned. Oh God. Thanks. Autocorrect. Small talks at parties. I actually find them incredibly challenging to write about. So I think this is a good thing to observe here. Observations. It's like, how do you move the story forward with what may on the surface appear to be just small talk, like nothing is really at stake, but you still need to move the story forward. You still need to develop these characters a little bit more. I think this is a interesting thing to look at now while I try to look for passive voice, which I don't think I'm gonna find. Where am I? The girls. I've lost. Yes, that is correct. Of course it is. Oh. Danger outside. It's still gosh, God. Stores are opening back up. A barbershop downstairs, they're opened again, so I could get my hair cut if I want to. Just decided maybe I should hold back for a few more weeks. Sorry. Mr. Mumble. Love it. It's just, the conversation just ends. Nick wasn't even able to talk. Okay. Here's something interesting here. Interesting is the act of introducing someone or having a character in the scene that doesn't have a name until they say their name. So here it's just the girl for a while, and then finally she acknowledges her friend and gives her a name. I'm never sure how, if that is the right thing to do, you know? It's like, should I guess if it's a first person narrative, then I only know as much as the narrator does, and that's okay. But I guess if it's third person, it's okay just to name, give the character a name right away. Sorry, you can't see this, but my dog is literally just right here staring at me like I'm a freak. He's like, what are you even saying, dude? What are you even on about? So yeah, we'll just take a picture of him. This one. Oh, he looked away. Mikey, hey, Michael. Alright, sorry, I got distracted. This old phone doesn't work properly. Hey, I got ya. Alright, sorry. Now, distracted. You're distracting me from what I'm trying to do here. I got this whole book to type. Alright. Where am I? Oh yes. I'm on the other page. Can I spell Lucille? It's weird. So, okay, so the small talk, kind of gossip right now. I think that is what needs to be interesting. I think that is what's interesting is small talk can end up being gossip, and then while you are finding finding details about the person who's speaking, you're also finding other people's perception of another character. So I think that is what's revealing right now. They're talking about Gatsby, but very indirectly. It's about like the stuff he did. Confidentially. And we're talking about adjectives and adverbs right now and how we should avoid using them. I feel like we could still continue looking at those even though it's not our direct intention. Living together confidentially, secretively. It's just like sprinkled in now and then, here and there. Not all the time. Maybe one in every like 5 paragraphs there might be one. That's not exact, but yeah, juicy gossip. That's exactly what it's becoming. It went from small talk to gossip. And I think that tends to be how things go, huh? Unless it could get deep and philosophical, conversations tend to just evolve into gossip. Hey, skeptically. A lot of adverbs being used here in this conversation. I love it. Give him some danger. Okay. Another page done. So mysterious, this Gatsby. Hope he kills someone in the story. I really don't remember much about this story. So everything is coming, it's being revealed in a nice surprise for me. And it's funny how you forget little parts of a story, and that's why I think it's important to reread and rewatch things, because you notice details that you haven't noticed before. Where am I? Up to, where's that? Going to you, oh, her personal. Serve a dignify. Homogeneous. Spectroscopic. Let's find out what this word means. Spectroscopic is the study of the interaction between matter and electromagnetic radiation. How does Gatsby know? Sorry, Gatsby. How does Fitzgerald know about this stuff? Just like light ray? Like rainbows? Yeah, something like that. Spectrum? Lights? Okay. Let's keep going with this. Agreed. It is hard to be in a party where everybody's just like super nice to each other. I really do feel myself about to explode, especially when everybody's trying to be like politically correct or just like, I don't want to offend anybody, you know? And that's totally not my personality. I like to ruffle chips. Ooh, that's exciting. Poor guy. I could actually relate to this undergraduate a lot, because that was me in most social gatherings between 13 years old to 25 years old. That was me. This might be a passive sentence. You tell me if this is passive. The bar where we glanced first was crowded. Should it be, we first glanced at the bar, which was crowded, and Gatsby wasn't there. Right? Is that passive? It's hard to tell. I'm sure there's like maybe there isn't any important editors watching, but if you are, please let me know if you consider that a passive sentence. Okay. Excellent. All right, let's keep moving here. This is actually a really fun scene, just of them both exploring the place. So it's slowly revealing the opulence of Gatsby's home, and I think this is fun. I think this this is an interesting way to do it. There's so much more adverbs in this section than the previous one. Or maybe it's just me picking it up a little bit better. No, but I think there's more. Okay. Let's stop there for a moment and do our Fitzgerald fun fact of the day. This one is actually courtesy of my friend Greg, who is a big fan of this show. Thank you, Greg, for all your support. If you're watching this, leave a comment or something. Let me know that you saw this, because this is for you. And I don't usually take requests on the show. Actually, I do. If you have any sort of requests or anything, let me know. I could do it. There's no rules here. Anyways, the fun fact that he shared with me was the first Great Gatsby adaptation was a 1926 silent film starring Warner Baxter. So this film, this 1926 film, is apparently lost. That means there's no physical film of it left. For a while, they said there might have been a copy in an archive in Moscow, but that is untrue. It is lost forever. So we'll never be able to watch the 1926 version of Great Gatsby. There is a trailer, I think it's on YouTube somewhere, but yeah, you won't be able to watch it. No one has it. It's not digitized. It's not on Netflix. You can't pirate it through BitTorrent. It's gone. So we'll never be able to watch that. All you have is the Robert Redford one and the Leo one. So that's all we got. Okay. Continuing on. That was fun. That was a nice little break, right? Sorry, my dog is still right here. Hey, wanna come? Come? Wanna do something? This is literally what he looks like right now, staring at me. He wants to go outside. That's what he wants to do. Where am I? Go outside. Where are my cables? There we go. Do you want to go outside or not? Alright. I'll let him live out there for a moment. Oh, brighter. Is this okay? When I first started this show, I was like, everything needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be like studio quality. Try to get it as close to just me typing, me being insightful, informative. I feel like by episode 9, it's more of just rolling with the punches, rolling with everything that is bound to go wrong. And so many things have gone wrong while filming. My fan going off, the power being out, the alarm happening, just people walking back and forth sometimes, and just noise, my dog being needy and annoying. And at this time, me forgetting, not knowing whether I push record or not, all these things are gonna affect the show. It's a part of the show, and you accept that it's part of the process. And it's the same with writing. You're looking for this like perfect pocket of time that is so perfect for you to be creative and create your best work. But really what you need to do is just accept that there isn't any perfect time. And you say, this is the hour, I have to do this. I have to do this now. And whatever horribleness happens in the way, that's just the way it is. And we're gonna do a lot of these, and some are gonna be better than others. We're gonna learn from all of it, but you have to really do it all the time. And I think that is just something I'm figuring out throughout this process, is that, okay, some of these episodes are gonna be really clunky and weird and bad, and I actually like delete the footage before uploading it. Some of them are gonna be better, and I assume when I reach back here, the way I present myself, the way I'm actually talking about the text on the page, hopefully by that time I would have improved. And that is the goal of all of this. It's not necessarily for me to create the most like incredible show in the world. It's more of just me going through this process over and over again, learning how to articulate my thoughts, and most importantly, knowing the external things that might interrupt the show and anticipating them and making them more, incorporating them into it, as opposed to trying to like prevent it from happening, because that is just impossible. Okay, I think he's ready to come back in. Why you come back in? It's so noisy out there. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Thank you for dropping in. Very, very helpful. So that is my philosophy for this project as I reach episode 9, because if you're waiting for the perfect environment to do something like this, especially when you're doing this at home, it is going to just drive you crazy, because it's not going to help you continue doing it. It's going to make, I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't be a perfectionist. Really, really don't. And although I'm well aware of how many people is seeing this at the moment, and it's just, yes, you're doing this so you can share, but you're also doing this to practice the act of sharing. And with that, it's a process. As much as it is practicing going to social events and interacting with people, the more you do it, the more you improve, the more you notice. It's the same with both what I'm doing here and what I'm doing here. So it's a multiple things happening at the moment, and you just have to believe that it's all going to come together at some point. This guy's super stoked about these books. It's like when you go to someone's house and they have something really cool, and you're just like, I can't believe you have this. This is incredible. I'm like that when I see that someone has a really, really cool bottle of whiskey, like a really rare one or an expensive one, or just something I haven't tasted before. And then I try to convince them to let me have some. But I do touch other people's books too. That's what I like about going to other people's houses, is seeing the type of books they read. And try not to make a grand thing out of it like this guy's doing. Definitely a lot more use of adverbs in this section for sure. Seeing a lot more of it, and I wonder why. Maybe it's because there's a lot more dialogue happening, or a lot more action. Where am I? And this guy's a little crazy, this book guy. A lot of interesting characters. Very quickly introduced. It's almost like they're going through different stations and seeing these different people, learning about how these people, I guess, interact and survive within the sphere that is Gatsby. So all that is slowly being introduced. I do like this character. This guy's hilarious. Let's follow his story for a bit. This drunk guy in the library. go. All right. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna finish this page and then we'll wrap up what's happening here. Oh, I still gotta do my typing timing thing. Describing dancing. I guess when you're describing dancing, it helps to use some adverbs because I see a lot of them here. Should have used this part as the, oh well. Whew. That was a long one. Teeny trip. I feel like some of these are passive. A celebrated tenor had son? I feel it might be sung. Yes. Kind of crescendos, kind of picks up the pace. These are long sentences, but it kind of adds to it, you know. It could have easily been like, a celebrated tenor had sung in Italian, and just left it at that. But he kept going. There's laughter. There's people doing stunts over it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do this. We're running low on time here. Kind of got caught up with all the exciting typing we did. So this is the part of the show where I try to type as quickly as I can in 1 minute and see what my word count is. What did I get last time? It was over 60, I believe. I'm gonna say, was it even 68, 67? Let's try to go for 70 today. How about that? Let's try to really nail it today. Okay, I got it. Put it down. Find that it's easier. Okay, got my mark. All right, ready, set, go. Oh no. Jeez. Oh, jeez. I didn't get that. I didn't get the last one. I only got the last word, but that was pretty good. I felt pretty good about that one. I see that I missed a word there. Missed 2 words, so I won't include that one. Let's see how we did. 65 minus 1, 64. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Isn't 70? Isn't 70? I feel like that's a really incredible goal to hit, actually. I'm not sure, because when I was young, a younger man, my typing speed was like in the 30s. So it's good to see that I've improved so significantly over the years. Your gax. Gace. Is that how you say? That's not a real word. What I'm discovering about this book so far is it's really just a bunch of people talking all the time. Nothing's really happening yet. It's hard to tell what the plot or the story really is. It's just kind of this Nick character bouncing around in different social situations. That's what I have to sum up the story so far. And as much as I'm enjoying the literary aspect of it, I'm kind of waiting for something to happen. Oh God. And it's through these little conversations that we're learning about these characters. Oh God. Evidently. Show plane. Pretty cool. Oh. Oh, good. In the morning. How exciting for this guy. All right, that is a good place to stop, I think, right in the middle of a conversation. Yeah, perfect place to stop. How much more do I have to go? It's always fun looking at the progress, at all that is left. Chapter 3 is a long one. Chapter 3, this party is going to go on for a bit. And all I'm saying is Gatsby better freaking show up at the end of it and do something, because as much as I enjoy Nick just wandering around, talking to random people in libraries, people he doesn't really care about, he's actually, what I'm discovering about this character is he's very likable. people like having him around, huh? He's kind of like, doesn't impose himself too much. He just gets invited to things. Okay, there we go. Another successful episode, I would say. A lot of craziness, a lot of wild stuff. Remember when my dog was here? That was, that was fun. This is one to remember. This is, as it currently stands, this is one of the better ones. This is one of the better ones, I would say. I don't know if I found any passive voice. It was actually really hard for me to it's I'm like literally looking, seeing if I could find one right now. It's actually a really hard thing to do. I recommend, actually I don't know if I recommend this or not, but give it a shot yourself. Whatever book you're reading, take a moment, maybe just stare at the page for a bit. See if you can identify active voice, passive voice. Sorry, yeah, burping. And I think it's that kind of focus in on the text is something very helpful, especially for someone like me who had no prior education with this stuff, but I actually enjoy it. And so much of learning can be accomplished on your own, so never feel like, oh God, I need to get a master's in literature to actually go through this exercise. It's like, no, you could, if this is something that interests you, you could do it on your own. You could do it on your own. Do it on your own. Start there. Build out the foundation. So that is a lot of thoughts from me today. A lot of thoughts. Happy to share with you. Happy that you have joined me. Thank you for another week of fun. Next week I'm back at work, so I'm probably going to be a little more droopy and tired. But until then, it's good seeing you. Be safe. Talk soon.